Back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. It's Football Friday here. Nobody better than to kick off Football Friday than TJ Rieves. He roams the sidelines for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huge game against the Saints as they finish up the season. And TJ, Happy New Year, my friend. How are you?
Happy New Year. Always good to be with you. And yes, there is a lot of drama this weekend in the NFL, and part of it is in our little part of the world in West Central Florida where the Buccaneers, I didn't know if I would ever be able to utter this, look to make the playoffs for the fifth time in a row. They've never done that before. They have to win Sunday, basically, to do it, but a fifth consecutive playoff berth, a fourth straight division title on the line, Dibs, when the Bucs tee it up with the Saints on Sunday.
This franchise epitomizes the another man's trash is another man's treasure. You go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. You know how much we love Baker on this side as well. We've been in love with this kid ever since he made it to the league. But he has really blossomed this year. Obviously, the contract makes it more comfortable to make plays. But when Mike Evans goes down, when Chris Godwin goes down, you think all is lost in Tampa Bay. And this guy has played his best football all season long and throughout his whole career. But the one thing I love, TJ, I keep seeing videos of him getting cookies for the offensive linemen, him getting gifts for everybody on the defense. Like, give me some more Baker Mayfield, why he's such a good teammate.
He is the best. Right now. He owns that locker room, and rightfully so. They look to him as a leader. He has really embraced this opportunity, and they have embraced him. Now, winning has a lot to do with it. I mean, Dibs, you know this. You can only lead so far if you're not winning games. And, they won at the right time at the end of the year last year and won a playoff game. And he had the opportunity to sign probably any number of places, but wanted to come back to the Buccaneers, and not even for the highest price that he could probably get somewhere else. It's not like he's poor. It's not like he took a huge pay cut or discount, but he could have gotten more money probably somewhere else. But he understood that coming back here, bringing Mike Evans back, who was also a free agent in a market that really wants to win with some building blocks in place, was a big deal. And I can't emphasize this enough. I've been on with you guys before. He is fantastic off the air to deal with. And, Rob, even after losses, he is tremendous to deal with. That really shows a lot of character for what we do in the media, in particular, with a guy that has been discarded. Let's be honest. He's been discarded in previous places, could be jaded, distrustful of the media, et cetera. He gets it. We love that, and he is he's not the only reason, he's a massive reason why this team is on the verge again of being in the playoffs. So we love us some Baker Mayfield.
Well, and also Todd Bowles is another guy that they didn't up here. I've been here long enough when he was still with the Jets,
yes,
and they couldn't run him out of town quick enough.
Right.
And he goes down there, he waits for his time, and Arians leaves, and then he takes over, and everybody once again questions whether or not this guy's a good head coach. This guy, I think he's done one of his best coaching jobs this year with a number of different injuries that there have been on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He learned from the experience with the Jets. This is a guy that played in the NFL back in the 80s and the early 90s. He has been an NFL assistant and defensive coordinator for the better part of about 30 years since then as a coach, head coach with the Jets, then defensive coordinator back with Bruce Arians here in Tampa Bay for a couple of years, including a Super Bowl winning year. And he's made the most of this opportunity. I know there's plenty of argument about game management or understanding everything that goes on, but these guys, the Buccaneer locker room, they play hard for this guy. They want to win for this guy, and that says something. And this is the time a year ago where this team turned it on, made the playoffs, and won a playoff game, and there's something to be said for that with Todd Bowles. And again, he is relatable, he's likable. Here, got a good sense of humor with all this. So, again, you root for this, and maybe the New York situation just was not the right fit because of how combative it is there with his personality. This just into the newsroom. The Jets haven't been really any good since they got rid of him.
Oh, that's just in, huh?
And here are the Buccaneers about to be in the playoffs for the third straight year with him. So if you're talking about who's getting the last laugh on that, I think Todd Bowles pretty well is in that category.
Let's talk defense, sir. This defense is no slouch. I love the nose tackle, always have. He's the biggest, sloppiest animal in perhaps the whole NFL, Vita Vea. But we might have some concerns in the secondary. Got a couple of people out. Explain the defense, what the game plan is for the Saints, and then moving forward in the playoffs with the Bucs.
So the defense is beat up, especially in the secondary with some guys out. But you mentioned Vita Vea. Let me drop something on you here for this New Year's week Friday. Amazing athlete. In addition to being a 350-pound defensive tackle, he's a great guy too. Away from the field, the Bucs have done a good job of finding guys that are locker room guys, good in the community. This is another one of those guys in Vita Vea, former Washington Husky. The guy is very athletic. Great at stopping the run. How about this, Dibbs? Northern California kid, and in high school he played fullback as well as defensive line.
Wow.
And, oh, by the way, ran down the field on kickoffs at times as just an athletic, big, probably 250, 260-pound high school player in Northern California. And now he is a monster in the middle of that defense, and he just got named to the Pro Bowl yesterday. Awesome. He's getting a lot of respect. I believe that's his third Pro Bowl nomination. Again, he doesn't play for the Cowboys or the Chiefs or the most known teams right now in the NFL, but this guy's a fun guy, Vita Vea, on that defensive line, and he will probably make some noise Sunday and in the postseason again up the middle. He's a fun guy to be around.
Talking to TJ Rieves, and not only patrols the sidelines for the Buccaneers, has a bunch of other shows. What are some of the other shows you're doing right now? Tell our listeners.
Listen,
you're doing some boxing stuff, right?
I'm always grateful when you give me the opportunity to promote whatever it is. But, I love the stuff with Buccaneers Radio. I do some handicapping TV for BetUS TV and their platforms. As you well know, we worked together for years with Fox Sports Radio and with Sirius XM. I still knock around with one of the competitors in the online radio world, tune in and do a bunch of freelance sports, college football, college basketball with them. I have a lot of hats, Dibbs.
Yes, you do.
But it's probably better than not having enough hats.
That's right.
At this point, it keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble. So you know how that goes. So thank you for the plug as we progress along in our careers here. I think back to you and I doing shows back at Sirius XM with the Major League Baseball coverage, et cetera. And what a thrill it was to get to know you then. And the fact that we've been doing that now for about 20 years makes me feel really old. You're not old, but I'm feeling really old here right about now.
Well, and let's talk about some of this stuff that's going on right now. I mean, you've got Saquon Barkley's not going to play for the Eagles. We're talking about, Chris Evans and Mike Evans and all the other stuff that's going on down there in Tampa. I mean, talk about whether or not he should play.
Okay, let's start with Barkley. I don't know this answer. Where do you and Ben come down on this? Because everybody's talking about there's a distinction between two things. The NFL rushing record is not saying the same thing as breaking Eric Dickerson's rushing record.
Right.
Eric Dickerson, this is where I come down. Eric Dickerson did this 40 years ago in 1984 in 16 games. So if Saquon Barkley were to play on Sunday, it is a 17th game, and it's not breaking Eric Dickerson's record. I'm going to hold the line on this. Are you feeling me on this?
Yeah, we're the same as you.
Yeah, no, we're the same as you. And I listened to Eric Dickerson this morning talk about breaking OJ's record. And he said, listen, I did it in 2 more games. Right. And so he said, and so he tried to, take a step back because he said he didn't want his record broken. But he said, well, who does want the record broken?
So true.
But Saquon wanted to play, but then everybody else has to play. That's what I'm talking about with Mike Evans. Do you play? Do you not play? I mean, everybody's got records or something to play for this weekend.
So we'll get to Evans in 1 second, but one more time here. Dickerson didn't break OJ's record because he didn't do it in 14 games, and he at least acknowledges that. Now, he may be being petty.
And I agree with that. 14 games is awesome to rush for 2,000 yards.
Oh, yeah, and it's amazing because other guys have done it. Derrick Henry did it and rushed for 2,000 yards,
Right.
and so did Jamal Lewis, and so did others. But again, there just needs to be a distinction. If Barkley were to play Sunday, or if anybody else now does it subsequently in a 17-game schedule, and by the way, they're going to go to 18 games. It's coming. They're going to be 18 games in the regular season of the NFL. Maybe not next year, but within the next 2 or 3 years. We just have to make those distinctions. So now we bring it back to Mike Evans. And again, this is a 17th game for him to try to get to 1,000 yards, to match Jerry Rice. How about this for a list? I mean, Dibs, these are the lists you want to be on. There's one receiver right now, one, with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons in the NFL. That's Jerry Rice. Mike Evans would become the second. Of all the receivers, like Terrell Owens recently, or Marvin Harrison, or Michael Irvin, or Lynn Swann, pick any of them, Art Monk, any of the great receivers of the last 40, 50 years of the National Football League, only one has 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Mike Evans would become the next, and again, the stipulation is he will have done this 2 or 3 times in 17-game seasons, but that's still a pretty impressive list. He needs 85 yards in the final game. It's not a guarantee, but I'm here to tell you, when you're watching the Red Zone Sunday, or if you're getting to see the game on Fox, I don't know if they have it up there in New England on Fox. It's the national game with Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt doing it. Watch Mike Evans get the ball thrown to him a bunch by Baker Mayfield in the first or the second quarter, trying to help him get this. This is all-time stuff if he can get to the 1,000 yards again.
But I guess the contention is, if it's a blowout, do you take him out if he doesn't have the record?
I can tell you this right now. If he is anywhere close to it at any point in the game, even if it's a 3-touchdown game in the second half, he's going to be in there, and they're going to try to get it for him. I mean, Baker Mayfield looked right at me, Dibs. I said to him, how important is this? He goes, I'm going to get it for him. He looked right at me and said, I'm going to get it for him after the game last week. So I would think, even if they're up, hypothetically, let's hope this is the case, if they're up like 24-7 in the second half, or even better, something like 24-0, they're still going to throw to him and try to get him the record. Stay tuned for that, because it means that much to him, and it's going on the Hall of Fame plaque whenever he finishes his career. How many consecutive 1,000-yard seasons does he have? And some may say, hey, you're cheapening it if you're doing it that way or whatever, but I can understand where this is an important thing, and they're so close to getting it for him. Let's see if they can get it for him.
Well, record schmeckard, my man. He also is due $3 million if he gets 70 catches and 1,000 yards this year. He's 5 catches away.
By the way, both of those are very attainable Sunday, and don't think for a second they aren't keeping track of that on the sideline okay, he needs 2 more, and he needs how many more yards to get to the 1,000 to get him paid? That's exactly right. And by the way, Baker Mayfield had put into this new deal that if he finishes in the top 10 in completions, yards, and touchdowns in the same season, that's a $2 million bonus.
Oh, he's getting that.
He's going to finish in the top 10 in all 3 of these, by the way, when it's all said and done. An extra $2 million for Baker Mayfield. We love it.
I wanted to bring up Zach Ertz because he did that in his last game. He went over 60 catches. He made $750,000 in incentives in one game
against his old team.
By the way, Baker Mayfield, $500,000 bonus playoff victory bonus. Each playoff win is worth $500,000. So stand by. Stand by to that baby's college fund. He's got a newborn baby, not even a year old, baby girl. That college fund going to go up and up and up.
I just saw the baby last week with the headphones on. It's so cute because of the noise. So the babies get the headphones on because of the baby ears and stuff like that.
Listen, this is a big time sports area.
Oh, yeah.
You trained here with the Reds. This is primarily a football area. It's a huge baseball area. He owns this town right now as the quarterback of the Buccaneers. He has never been wanted or beloved in the NFL, even in Cleveland, where he won a playoff game. I don't know that they really fully embraced, you're going to be the guy, we believe in you. And they have here, and it's a situation where he could be the Buccaneer quarterback for another 3 or 4 or 5 successful years. That's realistic. That's believable. He's wanting to put roots down here and get it done. And I'll just put this to you here on a Friday afternoon in early January. The Carolina Panthers, just 2 scant seasons ago, had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the team at the same time. And have
you love
right
to turn the knife on. You're just brilliant. That's why I have you on, man. That's awesome.
Unfathomable. It's crazy that they had both of them, guys, and still can't stumble and mumble and just get out of their own way.
All right, I haven't talked to you in a minute, so calm down for a second. Let's talk some baseball. Tampa Bay. Where the hell are they playing next year? Are they going to play at that Yankee Stadium in Tampa?
What are we 3 months ago?
What are we doing, man?
So the latest is they've done the deal. They're going to play at what is now known as Steinbrenner Field, what was known as Legends Field for so long. They renamed it after the boss. It's right across from Raymond James Stadium. It seats around 11,200 right now on the current capacity. It's one of the
they may get a few sellouts.
Yeah, they may.
Okay, well, they will. And the other thing is they can apparently bring in at least a couple of thousand temporary seats around the left field corner and the left outfield to increase that to around 13,000. I am here to tell you it is going to be electric when they get ready to play in Hillsborough County here, as opposed to being over in St. Pete, where you've been many a time, even with me, for Rays games across the water. It's going to be electric when they bring in the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Orioles, etc., into that place. So this is weird. In the aftermath of the hurricanes, which have been awful, I don't know that they ever play. I don't think they will ever play another game in Pinellas County. It's going to be figured out how to build it in Tampa, and for now, the temporary home is the spring home of the Yankees. They've already worked that out. They've paid the Yankees. Major League Baseball has helped work it out. So it's going to be strange. It's going to be weird, but it's also going to be wild. The novelty of the first time to do this is going to be wild.
You are the best, my friend. Love to your family and your twins and everybody else, man. Thank you so much, TJ. Happy New Year to you, brother.
Happy New Year to you guys. I'm a little bit ahead of you with the twins now. Teenage drivers, car insurance, jobs. You will be there soon, my friend. Hang in there. Happy New Year. I'm here to help. I'm here to support you.
I'm here to support you, too.
Give the advice.
All right, brother. Thank you, TJ.
Hey, boys.
Have a great weekend. Oh, my God. He is the best. And then he throws the Sam Darnold in there, just like our Jets fans want to hear that stuff. All right, first dibs question today coming up next.
91 southbound, kind of breaking.